Do you love everything football? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Beyond the Touchline, a Football Manager Central podcast with your hosts, Paul, Ryan, and Colin.
Oh, good evening. Now, first off, we will start by saying it is not Paul, Ryan, and Colin, because Colin is sunning it up on a cruise somewhere in the Caribbean. Now, I know what you're thinking. The bastard. We were thinking the same thing, do not worry. But we have a guest, an adequate guest, a happy guest. Well, actually I'll rephrase that because he definitely won't be happy. We have Mr. Dan Finch. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me on again.
Oh no, we're happy to have you back, especially when Charlton are collapsing, shall we say. I mean, the idea to get you on came on Saturday, was it, when they played, when my Twitter feed was basically just full of you venting some anger, shall we say.
Yeah, Saturday was if you watched it, I don't think many people did, but from people that did, it's just the constant, it's been the same for weeks now. We're really struggling this year. Our chairman and the chief executive built this idea that we're going to get to the Premier League, and she's got this vision of 20,000 supporters, but the fans don't want them, don't want the owners. We've got a big problem with the owners. They've not put any money into the team. I think the squad average age of our squad is 21, and there's no squad. There's no reason for a squad at the age of 21.
What see, I mean, looking at it from the outside, it's pretty apparent that you're struggling. It's that is apparent, and managers are coming in. I'm not gonna lie, some of the managers I've come in I've never heard of.
You've never heard of.
So I think the question is, are people still turning up to sit on that couch in the corner of the stadium?
People are still sitting on the couch because it's free tickets. But I mean, we're looking at when the chairman took over, we're in League One, and we're getting 16,000 people to come and watch League One. We're lucky if we're hitting 11,000 in the Championship, and we're playing big teams. You know, we had Leeds come down. I think we had 8,000 home fans against Leeds last year, and they had 4,000 Leeds fans.
Wow.
No Charlton fans want to turn up at the minute.
What's the issue? Is the football bad? I know you aren't winning games, but I mean, with a young squad, you can kind of almost forgive the squad if they put an effort in and try. And so, how is the football when you've got players like Tony Watt, who has claimed he doesn't want to be remembered for the goals like against Barcelona, which we all remember?
Yeah, we don't have him anymore. Actually, we loaned him out during the week. He's gone to Cardiff.
Oh, brilliant!
He's not been getting in the team much recently. We don't play that bad football. Recently, as everyone's probably known, we've had a manager change, and our interim coach has got us playing some reasonably good football. So hopefully that continues. The problem is as you said, we're relying on youngsters. Anyone who watched the game on Saturday, our best player was a 17-year-old that we signed from Staines Town in the summer. So, you know, it's difficult for us because we're playing 3 or 4 under-21s in one team, let alone the squad. Then there's more on the bench, and the emphasis that the owner has that we must play the kids all the time, it probably is affecting the squad. We've got a decent team, and the football's not too bad, but one injury and we're in trouble.
It's quite strange to see. I mean, you're saying the manager's not spending money. I mean, the first thing I think of when I think of Charlton is the fact that it's literally just through the Blackwell Tunnel, isn't it? So you're so close to the centre of London. I mean, the bright lights. You would think you would attract a lot of even free transfers from abroad wanting to come and play. Is he just refusing to sign people, or is it just he's searching in the wrong places?
I think the chairman is the problem, not the managers. The chairman's really strict on that. He wants Charlton to have this youth academy, which all the first team comes through the youth academy, and we can say that our first team's built out this amazing youth academy we have. I mean, he doesn't want to spend much money. A lot of the money, or a lot of players that have been brought in, have been brought in from his clubs. We bought a lot of players from Liège last summer. We had a few coming from Romania the year before from his club over there. There's a lot of, he has to know the player. The only one really recently we've made that anyone will know is Ricardo Vazte, who we got from West Ham. But even then, before that, the signings will come quite on the cheap from Belgium or Romania or something like that. I mean, even the manager we've got at the minute, we got him from the 3rd division in Belgium because he's buddies with the owner, and it's a long messed up. Our owner's just a bit unsure.
I think it's insane, but I suppose if you're if the chairman's trying to cut the corners, it's a good idea to want a club built full of youth academy, but you got to give it time. You can't just randomly say, right, throw everybody in, you're going to sign nobody else. I mean, it's insane to do it. But I mean, the next topic is kind of linked with Charlton. There's been so many manager changes this year, Ryan. I mean, we're still in November, and what I will say is a few weeks ago on the show, I was slagging off Dean Saunders saying people are still managing to get jobs. And funny enough, he's been sacked. I told everyone he wasn't good enough. So I mean, I told them that people on the show that I thought Dean Saunders wasn't good enough. He's been to numerous clubs and failed, but I don't like seeing managers getting sacked. And there's been so many losing the job. I mean, when we go back to last season, Dan, you've got the likes of Brentford sacking or letting go, releasing a manager who did so well for them, and it's just continued this season. Managers leaving so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, even Brentford have swapped managers. As you just said, they swapped managers again, and I think they appointed someone today, the Walsall manager, but clubs are jumping on it as soon as they see in trouble, and Chesterfield appointing a manager that got a team relegated last season from the same division, I think that was an iffy one. I'm shocked that Neil Ellen's still in the job at Bolton, and to be honest, I'm surprised there's not been more sackings in the Premier League.
I don't think they can afford to sack Neil Lennon. They're in so much financial trouble. But I mean, moving on away from the managers getting sacked and more just talking about clubs in general, I want to just sit and talk about fan-owned clubs this week, mainly because I'm a member of the Facebook group for FC United of Manchester, and so many fans are talking about how they want to go back. They wouldn't care if they got relegated. They're happy just to go, and if they go down, at least they can visit them smaller grounds again and the nice pubs and stuff they were saying. But I'm totally against this. In my opinion, fan-owned clubs, chairman-owned clubs, state-owned clubs, the idea of a club is to win matches, is to win promotion. I mean, if you bought Charlton, would you be happy just no matter what division they're in?
No, I think I'd like them to be in the best division in the world. Of course you would. You'd like them to win everything. But I think there's a difference for fan-owned club in the Football League and fan-owned clubs in non-league. There's a big difference because as much as you'd like to have, for example, like one of my local clubs, Ebbsfleet, they've got quite a rich owner, and you know, they've got the opportunity to push on, where some clubs like FC United Manchester, who are fan-owned, might just be looking for just to that, you know, especially the background story to FC United Manchester. They're just looking to support a football club. And I can understand it further down is clubs like Newport and AFC Wimbledon, where I think people question them because, as you just said, how much further are they going to take it when they're already sitting in League Two? Have the fans got enough to push them through the leagues?
See, I know what you're saying there about FC United Manchester, like they're just happy to support a club, but I just think I really do like the fact the manager's been there so long, but so many games this season. I watch every single game on highlights, and I listen to the podcasts. I watch the matches. Listen to the matches live when I'm available. I really do enjoy to follow this club because it's a fan-owned club, but the manager's making so many tactical mistakes this season. There has to become a point where the manager genuinely has a reason to be let go. And I just think fan-owned clubs, state-owned clubs, like I said, they all should aspire to win matches, and winning matches brings promotion. So you're going to end up going up the leagues if you win matches. I mean, I don't want to turn up and watch a team get absolutely battered every single week. I mean, you might have fun in the pub afterwards and spend some time with your friends, but your team's losing, man. You want them to win, surely. Yeah,
I mean, as I said a minute ago, from the fans' point of view, I fully understand why you want to be fan-owned, but from the club's point of view, as you rightly said, if the manager's not getting you the results, you've got to think at some point it's time for change. But also, I think, as I said a minute ago, you've got to have the financial stability, and I think a lot of teams like AFC Wimbledon, and I don't know about AFC Wimbledon in particular, but I know a lot of teams that have been fan-owned have got someone else backing them, so they'll be the main people in charge, but there is someone with money backing them. It used to be with Charlton, we used to be a fan-owned club, but we had Richard Murray, who was behind putting in the money for the club that was run by the fans.
It's a tough one. I mean, like I say, I mean, how far can fan-owned clubs go? I mean, I don't see a reason why they can't go all the way up. I mean, you've got to get the right players in, and you've got to be able to afford to pay them. That's the issue, obviously. But I mean, what players are going to want to come to them fan-owned clubs? I mean, surely the appeal of playing for a fan-owned club might attract players of each level. So if they go up to the Conference Premier, players who are good enough for the Conference Premier might want to come, or players who are good for League Two, which then means they go to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you're a player and you know it's a fan-owned club, you know that the passion's going to be at that club. And I, as you know, my girlfriend supports Newport, so I've been to Newport, and it's a really good atmosphere around the club, and you can tell it's a fan-owned club. You can tell that the fans are really passionate about the club, and I think the players do read off that, and a lot of the players in interviews and stuff say that this is a fans club, and you know it's a fans club. I think going back to your point about how many leagues they can climb, as I said before, I think it's about their backing. I think the fans need help. So they love being a fan-owned club, you need help. If you're going to go up the leagues, you're going to need financial backing from elsewhere, because I don't really know as many fans that are going to get you from the Conference to the Premier League. Crawley tried it and it didn't go well.
I think that's the issue at the minute, then, isn't it? It's all about money. I mean, a good club can attract certain players, but then if another club just buys the better players next year, they're going to go up and you're not. Which is frustrating, but then it comes to just a simple question of, has money ruined football?
I think it
because
has.
It's improved football in so many ways in terms of the standard, the players we're watching, but then it's kind of stopped these fairy tales, hasn't it, of clubs going up the leagues and stuff.
I think it has overall, but I think the money has brought in. I mean, just for example, the money. I mean, you just look at the Championship. I mean, I'm not just saying this because my club's in the Championship. When we were in League One, it was very much the Championship was still the same. Look at the quality in the Championship because of the money, and I know it means that clubs, as you rightly said, from League Two and the Conference, they're probably not going to get to the Championship that easily. But I mean, if you're looking at Jordan Rhodes, Stuart Downing, we've got a few at our club that if we had decent players near them, they'd be pretty decent. There's players in each team. Ross McCormack, Burnley have got some great players. They're all in the Championship, and it proves that money does make football better, but for a price, sadly.
Yeah, I think I really do hope there's a fairy tale happens in the next few years where a club does hit them 3 or 4 back-to-back promotions.
I think the next club doing it, and luckily enough, a fan-owned club will probably be. I'm looking at Portsmouth. I know it's taken them a while to sort things out, but I know it's not quite the same because they were big and they've died off again. But I think they're on for good times again down there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can push on. Moving our way up to the top, obviously this week, Jamie Vardy broke the record, the Premier League record, 11 goals in 11 games. Not bad for someone who was stacking sheets of metal in 2005.
Yeah, I think that's a fairy tale story. That is. I think when he signed for Forest Green, not Forest Green, for Fleetwood, he was about 23. So. He's kind of got the Ian. I'm not comparing him to Ian Wright, but he's got the Ian Wright story. He started at a non-league club. I think Ian Wright started in Greenwich, which is about 10 minutes from my house, and worked his way to Crystal Palace, but we'll skip over them. Jamie Vardy's doing just that, and you can't fail him. I was one at the beginning of the season who was going, this isn't going to last. And when he played for England, I was going, why are we playing Jamie Vardy for England? But he's proved it now, and you've just got to take your hats off to him. He's on some good form, hopefully, and I mean it, hopefully he carries on, because what's good for Leicester, hopefully is good for England.
I really do actually hope if he continues the form he starts in the Euros, because I think European countries are going to struggle with his style, I think
he's so, I don't want to say devious when he's on the pitch, but clever, I think is the term, and he's so direct. Man United obviously they scored a goal, but obviously in the second half, I don't know if you watched the Leicester Man United game, but there was a chance in the second half where he just turned up. The ball went over the top, and you're thinking, Man United are going to clear this, and he just turned up out of nowhere. He's just such a direct player. He's going to pick up the ball and run, and as you rightly said, I think some countries who like to play the calm, relaxing game are going to see Jamie Vardy running at them and think, whoa, who's this dude?
Yeah, he just never stops running. It's going to be interesting to see during the Euros next summer exactly what happens. Talking about players who could be going to the Euros and could not be. Jack Grealish. So you have a bad day at work. Would you go on the drink for 2 nights in a row?
No, never. But I don't know. He just seems that kind of boy, doesn't he? I wouldn't have him anywhere near the England squad, but that's me. I think he's young and he's got a lot to learn, but I think that is a step too far.
I think it's just a bit lack of respect, isn't it? I think you have a really bad game and then you go out 2 nights in a row. It's just a bit stupid, I think.
But also, you've just got a brand new manager. Your team's trying to turn around this awful form. I think they haven't won in 12, 13 games. You've got a brand new manager in who's known in France and playing for Arsenal was this very clever man, and you don't. It's just something you don't do. It's a rookie mistake from the youngster, really.
It's just unbelievable. The next topic is one which I'm going to enjoy sitting back and ranting about. It's Newcastle's game against Crystal Palace, losing the game 5-1.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Alan Pardew.
Yeah, thanks.
Johan Kebab.
Johan Kebab.
Just gets worse.
That's genius.
So, Dawayama crosses it to Cisse. Cisse flicks it on, puts it in the back of the net.
I can't believe Cisse scored.
Newcastle go 1-0 up. I literally sat on my couch, mouth open, just like, what has just happened?
I was sitting in my front room when it scored, and I had to keep refreshing my Twitter because I didn't believe it. I was thinking that Newcastle scored first.
Well, I mean, we scored the goal, but then don't worry, classic Newcastle. So you have Paul Dummett at left back, who is one of the shittest players I think I've ever seen play for Newcastle.
No, Mike Williams probably above him.
I tell you, they're getting as bad as each other. So he turns his back on a shot and deflects it in. So you think, okay, 1-1. Come on, we can get back into this. Then you have Zaha, who's down on the right wing, who's genuinely trying to tear a new arsehole into Dummett. Then you've got Balassi in the middle, who literally makes Colaccini look like a freaking Sideshow Bob lookalike. He literally just looks like some drunk guy running around on the pitch with his hair bouncing. How that guy is playing for Newcastle is beyond me, and how he has the captain's armband is just, I scratch my head.
The thing that worried me, I watched the extended highlights of the game, and the thing that worried me for Newcastle, it's something that I've noticed when I'm watching Newcastle. Balassi and Zaha, just every time they got the ball, just ran, and your team they just looked like they couldn't move. And even punching, as soon as any three of them got the ball, the pace, and your team just did not know how to deal with the pace.
Well, the problem is Colaccini's lost it, so he doesn't know what he's doing, and Dummett is just dreadful. And
Mbemba,
what's his name? Mbemba has come in from Anderlecht, and I'm pretty sure he's about 40. He's the oldest looking 21 or 22 year old, whatever he is, it's wrong. He's one of these people who has a fake passport. It's pretty clear. He turns like a tank. When he attempts to run forward and play, we played him right back a few weeks ago for a while, and it was like watching Yang Mbiwa when he played for us playing right back. They're just not a right back.
So the thing is, I'm sorry to bring this back up again, just because of Newcastle, but watching the Palace game, it looked like brief flashbacks to the derby. I mean, the wingers were the exact same. Balassi and Zaha were doing things that Adam Johnson was doing to you. But the thing that really I saw in both is that you couldn't deal with the pace, but also the physical threat of Wickham and Fletcher you managed to not deal with at all. And it just confuses me how a set of defence can be good at absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, Colaccini's he's really good at like walking around at the end and applauding and stuff. he does that every single game. I don't know why. I think he genuinely thinks people are going to clap back. The whole game was frustrating. I mean, Colaccini went off and I can't pronounce it. Lascelles or what? He came on and he didn't do amazing, but the ship was already sinking. I mean, we were already split in half and touching the bottom. So
the thing that worries me for Newcastle is that
Newcastle.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But the team doesn't look so bad. And you look at your starting 11, starting 18. It's not.
I don't know.
It's nowhere near the worst in the league. But yet somehow, every week it seems you're getting thumped.
I mean, let's go through. You have Elliott in goal.
Legend.
Not good enough.
Charlton legend.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You have Paul Dummett left back, who genuinely would not get in any other team in the Premier League. He's so bad.
Don't
You have
forget Johnson.
Colaccini centre back. He would not get in any other team in Europe. Yeah, then you have Mbea, who's like I say, he's about 40.
Mbemba.
Whatever it is, it's one of them, innit? I'd rather have the other one back. Then you have Janmaat, who's actually quite decent, but he seems to get lost defensively a lot.
I felt really sorry for Janmaat in the Newcastle Sunderland game, because it just felt like he was the only one that looked like anything was going to happen. It was going to come from Janmaat.
Then you have Jack Colback in the middle, who's a local lad. He's proud to wear the shirt. It's just a shame he's shit. Then you have Anita in the middle, who is about 3 foot tall. His arse follows him 20 minutes later, and he plays like he's sat on it.
Can I just say, Anita on Football Manager is Andrea Pirlo gone a bit wrong.
He's just so...
running the things for me.
Anita looks fantastic when he gets the ball, and he's running to like Janmaat, and he passes it to him. It's brilliant. But that's only when there's nobody near him. But any other situation, he's screwed.
Just looking at your front four, Sissoko, Perez, Van Alden and Cisse. For me, that sounds...
Van Alden is decent. He has some good skills. He looks decent, but we can't rely on him defensively. So then we've got to look at the other guys. Sissoko, again, he's like a train going forward, but ask him to track back, and half the time you'll see him walking. Perez is a striker. Stick him on the wing, fantastic if they want to ruin him. Like, I mean, it's just Demba Ba all over again. Good striker, stick him on the wing. You have Mitrovic. They basically said to Mitrovic, okay, you're a young lad, you're learning the Premier League, you've had a couple of bad games, so just to boost your confidence, we're going to fuck you off to the bench. It's like, what? And then they turn around and go, oh yeah, and we're dropping you for Papi Cisse. I bet he genuinely just looked and went, taking the piss.
I'm going back.
He sat there on the bench and he just looked as if to go, who the hell's that guy up front?
But the thing is, he's the kind of player that when you're getting spanked 4-1, is going to give the fans something. He seems to be
at least he tries. He actually tries, and he actually looks decent. He has so many headers and like chances. They're not going in, but you can't drop him. And
especially not for Papi Cisse.
Steve McLaren said, oh well, Cisse looked really good in training. Well, according to him, all week in training they've been having arguments, disagreements.
Cisse was saying sorry, Gaffer.
Yeah, sorry Gaffer. What are you sorry for? I don't know.
But I take back my comment about your 18 because I've just seen your bench. CM De Jong, who's basically a walking injury.
I genuinely wish he would just sort himself out, because I genuinely feel like he could actually be a talent.
He is a good player. He just seems to be, for whatever reason, he just seems to be constantly injured. Then
he's probably seen what happens if he plays, and he's thought, you know, screw this, I'll just get injured. Then he's chucked himself down the stairs at home and stuff.
Then you've got the best French winger in the Premier League, Yoann Goffran. I mean,
legend. And
when he comes on, you know you're going to win the game.
Oh, I remember against Man City we played him central midfield. Scroll back through all our shows on YouTube if people want to hear my comments on that.
But then Lascelles, who I've seen quite a lot play Nottingham Forest and obviously watching the Championship, he's a good defender. I think he just needs a bit of confidence, so going to Newcastle probably wasn't the best for him, bless him.
No, it's not going to help his confidence, is it?
I watched Torvan, however you pronounce his name, at Marseille, and he was woeful. So when you signed him, I found it pretty hilarious.
It's again, it's just one of them signings which is just like could be special, but more than likely it's just going to bottle it.
It was another Remy Cabella. That's the thing that made me laugh. It was you tried Remy Cabella and it didn't work, so you went and did Remy Cabella again.
It's literally that.
It was just like I didn't understand, and especially as I think you spent £60 million roughly on all these players, and
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
And how many of them had any Premier League experience?
I mean, the money we paid for Mitrovic, which I actually think Mitrovic could turn into a good player. But we genuinely could have gone out and got Jordan Rhodes, who is a proven English league scorer.
Well, I was listening to a podcast the other night with Robbie Savage, talking about like Charlie Austin and Jordan Rhodes. Aston Villa spent like 40 million. You spent like 60. Charlie Austin was there for £15 million. Rather than spending £15 million on some trash from France,
Get yourself someone you know is going to score you 15 goals for sure.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Especially when you've got Papi Cisse up front.
But that's the end of the show tonight. The rant is over. If people got offended by any of it, I'm not sorry. Try supporting Newcastle, you'd understand.
Or Charlton, you'll get used to it.
Yeah, genuinely, support a bad team and then come back and tell me you don't feel the same way. The only way Cisse got on the pitch was for the reasons I stated, and I don't take them back.
Yeah, we have a player like that, called El Hadj Bar, who actually played for Sunderland, and I'm convinced the only reason he's played is because he's paying someone. He's awful.
There you go, see? It happens in football. We are bringing this to the public's attention. But thanks for coming on, Dan. Appreciate it.
No problem, anytime.
So we are going to play people out with our lovely intro made by Colin, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beyond the Touchline, a Football Manager Central podcast with your hosts, Paul, Ryan, and Colin. We'll catch you next time.